Hello everybody, welcome back to This Old Cook. If it's your first time here, then just welcome. We've had a couple of weeks off, but we're back now, and I've got Mrs. B with me again today, continuing our little Christmas theme. And today she's going to make for you an apple and mincemeat easy strudel using the mincemeat that we made the other day. I'll put a link to the recipe in the description box down below, and also a card up here somewhere, one side or the other. So let's get over there and see you in a second.
So we're using some nice simple ingredients today. I've got the ready rolled puff pastry. Oh, get that right. You can buy a block and roll it out if you want. So it comes measuring, what's this? This measures in inches. So it's 12-13 inches by 9. But as long as it fits on your baking tray, that's just fine. Now the first step with this is that I've measured out the roll of pastry and marked it into thirds, top and bottom. What we're going to do is going to put a mincemeat mixture down the middle, and then wrap some strands of pastry across the top to make a pretty design. So what we're going to do is just put the rolling pin at the first third and just roll it slightly thinner than the middle, and from here and towards me. So just ever so slightly roll those sides a little bit thinner. Having done that, I'm going to come along to my mincemeat mixture. Now this is 180 grams of mincemeat, which is the contents of one of the little jars that I made previously. You can of course use any mincemeat that you've got left over. This is a good recipe for post-Christmas because I'm going to put some cranberry sauce into there. So if you've got any left after a Christmas meal, you can obviously use that. So I'm just going to, a good heaped tablespoon, and just pop that in there with my mincemeat. And I'll give that a mix up. Just adds an extra layer of flavour to the Christmas mincemeat. And then if you have got the homemade mincemeat, obviously you'll know that we put apple into that. I'm going to add some extra apple here. I've got half a chopped cooking apple, or you could use a whole eating apple. I've had this just sitting in a little bit of water and lemon so that I could do it in advance. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Obviously all the ingredients, the list of ingredients will be in the description box below. So again, just mix that in. And it will just give the mincemeat a little bit more substance in your strudel. Okay. So with this mixture, we're just going to spoon it down that centre section of the pastry. So just evenly along. Making sure that you're not quite to the end, because we're just going to fold that end over. So just leave half a centimetre or so at the end. And there we go. That just nicely goes along that centre section. Now comes the only fiddly little bit, which is starting about a centimetre or so down. We're just going to cut our pastry in some diagonals. That way, and then back this way. So we're going to fold over the top. May need to just take a little bit of pastry off that corner. And then alternating with our diagonal pieces of pastry, just to give it a little lattice effect. So you could just fold it over if you wanted and cut slits in it, but I think for Christmas, for dessert, this just looks a little bit more decorative. It'll hold everything together. Last ones. Fold over that end and just trim it off. So there we go. So that's our strudel. I'm going to move this now onto my baking tray. It is fairly firm, so don't worry about handling it. There we go. So just with piece of baking parchment or a silicone tray insert, whatever you have for your baking trays. I've just lightly whisked up a small egg with a little bit of milk, and I'm going to brush that over the top. Bring that over. Make sure you get the sides so you get that nice even colour once it's baked. And then I'm just going to sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar and cinnamon. So I just have some ordinary granulated sugar here. I'm going to take a tablespoon of that and mix it. If I put that in shot so you can see, and mix that with half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, we've got plenty of spices in the mincemeat, but this just adds an extra level of spicy, Christmassy flavour. So a little sprinkle. It's granulated sugar. Give a nice crisp top as well. So there we go. This is now going to go into a preheated oven. So that's 180 degrees Celsius, gas mark 4 and 350 Fahrenheit. And it's going to go into the oven for about 20 minutes. So here we are, just over 20 minutes later. About to take the strudel out of the oven. Beautifully browned and smelling gorgeous. A little bit of the mincemeat has escaped from the edges, but that doesn't matter. And we're just going to take this off the tray and try and get it onto our plate. Okay, this is the tricky bit. I am going to use a spatula as well as my slice. Okay, and transferred all in one. Woohoo! If you are serving this for the family, I'm sure it'd be fine just as it is. If you want this to be the centerpiece of a Christmas meal, you could drizzle a little bit of water icing over the top, just a bit of icing, sugar and water, just to make it a little bit more decorative. You could also add perhaps some flaked almonds, but as a family meal, it's really quick, really easy, and easy to slice. So let's just get a slice through it and show you lovely crisp pastry and that beautiful apple and mincemeat inside. Ready for a bit of custard or ice cream, I think.